Well, hello, this is Kimberly here with Knit for Brains, and I am so excited to have my friend Chris Acton from Acton Creative back with us. I'm really excited because, first of all, she was my teacher, and I get to
Woo!
show my teacher the works that I've been doing. Yeah, and then we get to talk about because on my channel, I just have been going bananas about weaving, and I'm sure people are like, okay. So I really want people to understand how you can transfer and how it translates to crocheting and knitting and quilting and anybody that does all the other stuff, like why weaving is so amazing. So, Chris Acton, thank you so much for coming back on our show today. I'm so glad you're here.
You so much, Kimberly. I'm so proud of you. I love how you've just taken off with the whole weaving thing. I think it's amazing. So I'm just, the biggest fan. Like you're doing great.
Well, so the first thing that I did, because I was, I had a couple near misses and I had a couple fails, and the Brit was like, okay, you know what? He goes, you got to have a win. Just, you got to go with a win. And I was like,
I
okay,
love it.
fine. So I got the boring yarns and I was like, whatever, just to do something. I did something small and I ended up doing this. And
Wow.
now my coloring is poopy, but because it's not
Oh,
this
I love
kind
it.
of like aquas and some whites.
Yeah.
But this was the first thing I made after the course that I took with you, dressing your loom. And I ended up
Wow.
kind of going like, yeah, okay, I kind of do love this. Yeah. And I used like this was a puzzle yarn from Premiere, and it's just like a
Ooh,
fuzzy.
the
Yeah.
fuzz is great. I love the
Yeah.
texture.
And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this and this. And then I threw in this was like a teddy bear. So, and this was all just a cotton, but these were like mainstream yarns. I didn't have to do anything easy. I just went and grabbed out of my stash.
Love
And
it.
I made a table runner for the backyard, for
Oh,
summer. And I'm now making some napkins to go
ooh,
with it, like
perfect.
placemats. And I was like, and it was so easy. And I ended up going, okay, I kind of love this. Yeah.
I'm
And I
sold. That's
sold. And I
awesome.
used up a whole bunch of yarn. And it's super soft. And people go, oh my God, that's so pretty. And it's so pretty, like in the backyard with with like barbecues and stuff like that. It's just so it's now become one of my new favorites.
That's fantastic. I love that. It's so
Yeah.
pretty. You're doing
It
so
was
great.
going through your course was because I tried, the weaving and then the back, do you do the back to the front or the front to the back, and it was, and people are like, I don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't matter if you don't understand what I'm saying.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, the summer camp thing we're going to talk about because this is a program that Chris you've just started, which is trying to integrate and show other fiber enthusiasts and introduce them to weaving, right?
It's exactly right. It's
Okay.
exactly right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, what we found is that, we created this Dress Your Loom course, which is designed to take the beginning weaver to give them a foundation. So they have everything they need to, it's called dressing a loom. When you go from a naked loom to putting yarns on the loom, it's called dressing. So the course is designed to give you everything you need to be able to dress your loom, weave a project, and finish your project. So even if you don't take another weaving course ever, you have everything you need to go forth and have a great time and weave all kinds of amazing things.
Mhm.
But as we looked at the course, we thought, well, this is great, but they have to get to the I'm really interested in weaving and I want to do this stage.
Right.
So for us, then that's where the summer camp idea came in. We're like, what if we had something kind of just fun and casual and designed for, we're calling them curious crafters.
Yeah.
If you've been a crocheter, knitter, quilter, spinner, dyer, whatever you've been doing, but you're always like, that weaving looks kind of cool.
Mhm.
You're our person. That's the person who the camp is designed for. And we figured since it was summer, we want it to be
I
casual
like
and
that.
fun. So it's literally just a 5-day camp. It happens from June 23rd to the 27th,
Okay.
and each day you'll get access to a video and a little kind of activity sheet, basically, that covers different topics for each of the 5 days. So our goal then is by the time the camp is over, you go from kind of curious crafter to someone who has a good idea. What does it look like to weave? What kind of
Sure.
materials can you use? What equipment are you using? Just kind of to get excited about the weaving process. Even if you never buy your own loom and go further than that, our goal is just to kind of inform and get people excited about weaving.
Yeah, I feel like I really missed the boat because I I found you because I had this loom behind me and I was like, I'm just gonna make her a firewood. Like she's done. I'm
None of
done with her.
that.
And so I had to like unlearn. I had to go to counseling and I had to revisit the relationship and right and to do all this. And I really wish that I found you beforehand because I probably would have bought a larger loom and I would have had a lot more looms. But rather than having to like re-fall in love with this,
Mhm.
I would have loved it from the beginning. And now because of the Dress the Loom course, I'm in a place where I'm not afraid to weave. It's not overwhelming for me. I mean, I think I finished the course. Was it in January that
Was
we?
it it basically ran through the end of February was the live portion of it. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I did it in January and it's now May and I've got something on my loom downstairs. I'm about to put something on this one here. I now have four looms.
Love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
I've
That's
got the
amazing.
pin loom, the little teeny tiny thing. I've got two of the rigid heddles and I've got her. So I got things going and I understand about like direct warping and indirect warping.
Ah.
And this was something else that I made after you. This is all sock yarn.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's all 100% superwash merino sock yarn. And I actually hate working with sock yarn because it just takes, especially knitting, it takes too long.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
too
does it
small.
really?
It takes a long time. So
Oh.
I made
Interesting.
this. I'm going to show you. I figure out how to get my head into it. It's like kind of crazy, but look, it goes like this, and it's
Oh,
just like
wow.
a poncho thingy,
Oh, I love it. Oh,
right?
Kimberly, it's so cute.
I love it. And it's kind of hard to see the colors, but I call it sunrise sunset. This is
Aw.
kind of like the sunrise colors, and these are the sunset colors. And it's just the two panels that I sewed together, and then I sewed it together down the side here. And then
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like belt it and wear it like this.
Yeah.
But it's
I
so
love it.
there's so many things you can do. It's so versatile. And so, okay, and the thing is too is like to do weaving, I think the other thing I thought was like, God, I have this special yarn that I'm supposed to be
Oh,
working with, and that's a little intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. Like you can
no, not at all.
use acrylics and
Yeah,
mass production and all that kind of stuff. So,
absolutely. And I love that you brought that up. And just from your mission for this year to use the yarn that is already in your house, I love that
yeah.
because I think what happens is that so many weavers. I like to say that there's always like a gateway craft to get to
Yes.
weaving. You don't usually go from zero to weaving. You go from zero to quilting, and then you try on weaving, or zero to knitting, and then you try on weaving.
Yes.
And I think what happens, to your point, it can be very intimidating because you meet a weaver and they're like, oh, you have to have 8-2 cotton and all the whatever, and you absolutely can. And there are benefits to having that kind of like I've got one here, like weaving yarn always just has a ton on there because we need
Right.
a lot of length,
Right.
and the sizes might be a little different, but it's all yarn. And I like to drive home that point so that if you already have a great stash in your house, weaving is perfect for that. Incorporate it into the projects and go from there. But there's no need to buy special yarn. You absolutely can. Weaving yarn can be some very fun yarn, but it's not. You don't have to make the investment, or it doesn't have to be the end all be all. Use what you got. There's so
Right.
much you can play with.
And I think, yeah, I mean, and I kind of, my whole thing in the beginning was no buy in 2025. Well, that went right out the window. I was like, forget that. No way. What are you kidding me? So now I've decided that I have to, whatever I buy, I have to use that. Plus, I have to use what's in my stash. So as long as I still
Love
end
it.
up in the deficit, I'm okay.
I love it.
That's
I love
that's what I tell the Brit might disagree,
it. But we won't ask him. It's okay. It's
but
okay.
we're not going to ask his
Yeah.
opinion.
No.
No, we're not going to ask his opinion at all. He understands his opinion doesn't count for the most part with
There
that
you
kind
go.
of thing.
There you go.
But
There are other
yeah,
things where his opinion counts, but not here. It's
not
okay.
here. Yeah, exactly.
It's
So,
okay.
but I mean, like, so some of the things that we can talk about, like, are there going to be projects in this
Oh,
program? Okay, so like,
okay. Well, I'll specify. So here is kind of the idea. It's a Monday through Friday camp, and we designed it like as if in real life you were going off to camp. And what's so funny is that my team and I, as we were kind of dreaming this up, I was thinking kind of the educational part. We're gonna have one day that's all about what can you make with weaving, and a second day is all about looms and shuttles and equipment. The third day is all about patterns. Fourth day is all about yarn. And then day 5 is all about kind of putting it together, the whole weaving process. And
Okay.
my teammate was like, okay, we must have marshmallows and canoes here because
Yeah.
it's camp. So what we did with each day, there is a video that's informational, and the videos are 10 to 15 minutes long. They're not very long. And then there's a PDF with some information on it, so you have that available. But then there's a crossword puzzle and a word search, and there's fun things to do with each day. And as a matter of fact, on day 5, we're having a last day party. So we're having a little Zoom get together for all the campers, and we can all say hi to each other. We opted not to do an actual project as you go, just because of the materials, and it's such a short time frame.
Right.
But our goal is definitely to, first of all, kind of explain what weaving looks like and what you can do with it, and just to hopefully get them really excited about maybe going further with it, and searching for a loom, maybe talking to some other weaver friends, whatever, just to see if they're curious to take it further. So that was our mission with the summer camp.
I love that because I think a lot of people are like, this is just is way too intimidating. And so I bring a lot of weaving onto my channel, and it's like, look, it doesn't have to be. I mean,
I love that.
we started with pot holders, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and that was a summer camp thing, if I recall.
Yeah, totally was. The loops, the little cotton loops.
Remember
Yeah.
that? And they were kind of stretchy, and you made like really cool pot holders. And my parents were like, yeah, enough of the pot holders. I'm like, no, look,
they're so fun. Yeah.
they're so fun. Yeah. Exactly. So I mean,
and I think that when I first started, I remember taking my first class, and I knew nothing. And I wasn't really a knitter, crocheter, quilter. I had just tried all kinds of crafts throughout my lifetime, so I was very comfortable with that. But I had no idea that it was one yarn at a time as you're dressing the loom, and you're weaving one yarn at a time. And so for me, it was all like brand new. Like everything was like, oh my God, this is what? How does this work? Yeah. So I think, and that was as I'm taking the class, just kind of diving right in. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun, just kind of a way to kind of bridge the gap between someone who is, watching you on your channel, and they're like, oh, I love all the knitting, whatever. But what's that in the back of the room? Oh, it's a loom. How does that work? Like that. I just wanted to have something kind of easy to sign up for, not a big, it's $29 to do camp. And just some kind of an easy kind of fun thing to do during the summer. And then that can propel you to other things, or at the very least, more about weaving, and you'll have some vocabulary in your back pocket for trivia night. You've got a better understanding. And I think that the more we can kind of spread the word about how cool weaving is, the more, even if you're never going to become a weaver, the more you can appreciate that all your blue jeans and your khakis are woven, your seatbelt is woven, your sheets and your towels are woven with a machine, yes, but we interact with woven things every day, all day, which is remarkable. So I feel like, would make disciples. I'm like, spread the word how cool weaving is. And we're hoping summer camp is a great way to do that.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how I started, like I started out as a knitter, and I thought this takes so long. Then I did the crocheting, and I was like, I love crochet because it's fast. And I accidentally bought a loom thinking I was buying something else, and then suddenly it appeared, and I was like, what are you? I
what do I do with this?
I don't know. It was just like, I had FOMO. I was like, I gotta buy it. I put myself on the waiting list. I don't know what it is, but I'm getting it. Britt's like, you need to just stop shopping at 2 a.m. Okay, that's fine. So, but I did it all backwards. I really wish that somebody, because I love weaving. I mean, I absolutely love it. Like this, I absolutely love this, and once you get going with it, it's so much faster than even crochet, which is, like super fast, I thought. So I'm just now, okay, so let's say that someone takes your course, falls in love.
Yeah.
Where do they go from there?
Absolutely. I love this question. We designed the summer camp to kind of lead into the Dress Your Loom course. So the Dress Your Loom course, the doors will open again in early July. And camp is kind of the end of June. So we spaced it so that if you're like, I'm on a roll, let's keep going. Basically, your job between camp and then is to find yourself a loom, and we'll take care of the rest. That is really all you need. And I think what I put as part of the camp, because I have a what's next portion in camp, is that if you love it, we recommend the Dress Your Loom course, or at the very least, you can kind of follow us on the Handwoven Experience episodes on the YouTube channel. And certainly, even if you're just curious, you're like, I don't know that I want to buy my own loom and do little things, people can always join us for Live at the Loom, where you hear other weavers. from all over the world. And there's a lot of kind of free stuff online for sure if you're not ready to like dive right in. But for those that are, and I hope we have a great bunch, we certainly are we're ready to hold their hand and take them through Dress Your Loom and get them, towards being more independent and doing their own weaving.
Yeah, I mean, every time I possibly can, I attend the Live at the Loom.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
to
I love it
try.
when you pop in. Yes, yeah, yeah. It's
We're
so
not
fun.
traveling, or sometimes we're walking or doing whatever, but I do
Yeah,
be in there, and it's such a great, I love this because it's for people, especially, like my subscribers are mostly knitters and crocheters, and they're
yeah.
like, weaving is fun, but I don't know, it's too expensive, it's too intimidating, it's too fill in the blank.
Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. And so this I think is a great way just to like introduce, because I'm talking about it now. People are like, yeah, okay. And I was like, no, no, I really want you to understand
yeah.
how fun this is and how amazing this is. And you don't have to buy a loom. You can rent
Right.
looms. And we talk about like your local weavers guild. So, Chris, okay, so I just like I said, I cannot tell people enough. Just give it a try. I mean, it's right there, it's out there, and it's so much fun. And it definitely can be a gateway, but it doesn't have to be like an overwhelming experience. And I think that you really allow people. I mean, you've got this very great, engaging, inviting personality,
Thank
and
you.
you make weaving not a scary thing. You make it very attainable,
Thank you.
which
I'm going to take that
I
as really high praise. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. That is the
seriously, because
mission.
I was ready to make her into firewood. It's $200 worth of firewood. It's not that bad. I mean, and my husband's like, she takes up so much room in your craft room. I'm like, I know. I could find more yarn, but you allowed me to fall in love with weaving in the Dress Your Loom course. And it was so attainable. And I was like, why didn't I learn this before? How come I didn't know this? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really encouraging people. I mean,
Yeah.
a summer camp it's a 1 week long. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah.
How can people get more information? How can they sign up for this super fun program?
Absolutely. We made it really easy. Registration is just at tinyurl.com
Okay.
slash weaving camp.
Okay.
And I'm guessing I'll have you put up the link if you could for me.
Yeah,
That'd
I
be
can
great.
do that for you. No
And
problem.
yeah. And it's really simple. Like I said, it's $29. You'll get basically 5 days of access to new content each day. So every day that week, Monday through Friday, I'll be like, hey, it's day 3 or whatever that is.
Right.
And then we have a little party at the end. So, and like I said, this is meant to be kind of a way for you to try it on for size. This is
Okay.
the whole idea. Instead of having to jump into like a huge commitment right off the gates,
Right.
then you can actually just like kick around the camp and see if you like it. I mean, I think what's so special about weaving is that you are making fabric.
Mhm.
And that is magical. Anything that you can do with fabric, you can make the fabric on a loom.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make it completely customizable the way you want it. And that is really the magic that makes it unique from any other craft is that, yes, you can make a shawl with knitting and crocheting, but you're actually making the fabric for
The
the shawl.
fabric.
Yeah. And that's really what takes it kind of up a notch. It's just a unique craft from that perspective that you are
It really
making.
is.
Yeah.
I think that's a great point because, I mean, it would have taken me forever to crochet and knit this, but I'm like, I made this. I made this. People go, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just making fabric. I am doing stuff. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I like this yarn, this yarn, this yarn, this yarn, and I'm weaving it together. And then when it's done, then I can decide what it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, didn't you say there was clothing in the future? Didn't you say there
Oh,
was?
yeah. Yeah. My goal is to replace all the clothes in my closet with woven stuff.
Love it.
Come on. So basically, I'm moving my yarn from my craft closet
Yeah.
into my clothing closet.
Oh, see.
I'm repurposing
Beautiful.
it. I don't know.
I love it. Repurposing is brilliant. By the way,
Yeah.
that's one of the points I always like to make is that as you are, if you decide you really love weaving and you're like, I'm going to dive right in,
Mhm.
the original investment is the biggest part, buying a loom and buying a shuttle. But here's the thing, friends, they never expire. They never go out of style. Once you have them, you have them forever. And I always like to kind of share that weaving is the perfect craft if you are a repurposer, recycler,
Oh yeah.
reuser, because anything that you can cut into strips, you can weave into
Yeah.
other things. There's just so many options. So I love that you brought up the point earlier about kind of the how much it costs and the big investment. And yes, a loom is not an inexpensive thing to
Mhm.
own.
Mhm.
However, there's a lot of them out there, and once you have a loom, you have a loom
Yeah.
forever. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to have 10. All you need is one. I mean,
Yeah.
well, maybe Kimberly, maybe you
Yeah.
need 10, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know who you think you're talking to.
Right? More is better. That's
Monday,
but
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's 7 days in the week. So, like, I don't know, 7 looms, maybe. And then
just gonna
alternating.
rotate through, kind of
Yeah.
like yes, yeah,
Looms you travel
exactly.
with, looms that you don't,
Yeah.
and it's, yeah. But you can do like, I'm going to be doing some towels. So now I'm like, this is what I'm maybe doing for Christmas. I'm making shawls. I'm making
Wonderful.
towels for people. Once you start getting into it, you're just, and like, I love that you said you make fabric. I mean, you could make pants
Yeah.
jeans. I mean, you could do socks if you wanted to, but you could do so many things with it.
Yeah.
And there's a special kind of satisfaction when you're throwing the shuttle, and it goes fwing, and it goes on through. You're like, oh, that was fun. And
Let's do it again 1,000
yeah,
more times.
and then when it comes off of when it comes off the loom and it just, you're
Yeah.
like, look what I did. Yeah,
Right? It
it
is magical.
it is.
It is magical. I had there was a young woman that I met when I was first learning to weave. I had been doing it for a couple of years, and it was at a studio,
Mhm.
and she was there working on her senior project for she was getting like a design degree, and she was uh weaving the men's suiting material that she was going to cut and customize into her fashions for this senior project. So, I mean, really, it is
Whoa.
the sky's the limit. You can do
Yeah.
really as fine a fabric, as chunky a fabric. I mean, there's just no limit to what you can do.
No, no, not at all. And that's amazing. That
We
is.
can't wait to see your wardrobe, Kimberly. We're excited about this. This is yes.
All right. Well, Chris, I feel like I have made this. I mean, I met you on YouTube, right?
Yes.
And here
Yes.
I have a YouTube channel, and I was
Two
like,
buddies.
I need to learn how to weave. Where do I go? What do you mean, where do you go? What? That made no sense. Are you stupid? You go to YouTube like everybody goes for you. And then I found you and I was like, I like her. I mean, we could be friends and we are friends. Unfortunately, we're like not close. We're states apart.
We're many states apart, yes.
We're many states apart.
That's
But
right.
but I
You know, that's an
love
amazing
how
thing.
I love how this has brought us together. And you have really, like I want to say created a monster, but you've truly,
Aww. I'll take
honestly,
credit.
yeah, you've allowed me to fall in love with this really amazing. I mean, I want to say it's ancient because people have been doing it
It's
for
ancient.
thousands of years, maybe.
Well, how long have we had clothing? That's how long
Right?
we've been weaving.
Yeah,
If you had
exactly.
mats on the floor, if you had, yeah. It is,
Yeah.
basically weaving and pottery. Those are the ones. Those are the old ones.
Don't even get me
That's
started
it.
on pottery. That's something I'm doing now, and I can tell you right now, that is not my next jam, friend. That is not my jam. I'm doing it at the adult school. I was like, I'm gonna do pottery. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make my own. No,
No.
no. I have a new respect. I go buy a mug. I will pay $100 for that mug. No problem. Thank you very
It's
much.
hard to center that clay. It is hard. Yes.
Yeah,
No,
side of my
I tried it.
hand is all jacked up now. Yeah.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. I've
But
been there.
weaving, I'm all
Weaving.
good for.
Right. Excellent. I'm so happy.
Oh, my friend, it has been so good to talk to you. As always, I'm so excited. So, all the information for the summer camp, and it's called Acton Creative Summer Camp. What's it called?
It's called Summer Weaving Camp.
Summer Weaving Camp.
Summer Weaving
That's
Camp.
easy. You kind of know what it is. There's no surprises there.
Right.
But
Exactly.
I'll include all the information on the on my site, and then maybe when we get into the Dress the Loom again coming up in July, we can talk about that as well. And
That'd be amazing.
yeah,
Yes. I would love that. That would be amazing.
That would
Because
be fun.
you're like my superstar student, so we definitely have to have you. I know, right? Ta-da!
Right? I mean, I'll be showing off more stuff that I'm making. I'm so excited.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're doing so great.
Oh,
Thank you
Chris,
so much for having me. Thank
I
you.
love having you here. Really, I truly do. Thank you so much. And like I said, for any information, it's all going to be listed there in the as well as I think the live at the loom. We should include that as well, so people.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Because the more the merrier, I say.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, anything else you guys need, it's all going to be listed there in the notes. But as always, Chris, I love having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. He's a brilliant editor, that Brit.
He's so amazing. Yeah,
He'll
because
just stitch together.